So hole 3 at Jones East, you can see, is a par 3 with a question mark, or should be. It's kind of like a 3.5. Right now it's in the 525 pin position, which is the red arrow, the red line, I guess. So it's a little bit longer, a little bit more trees in the way. So sometimes it's a par 3. Like for me, it should probably be a par 4, just because there's no way I'm gonna get anything better than a 3 on that. But for your Eric McCabe's of the world, it's probably a par 3 because they can actually get there. Normally in GBOs past, it's been up in these trees here. You can kind of see the pole right there in front of that truck. But now it's actually off to the right a lot more. It's kind of obscured from the tee just because there are so many trees in the way. But it's pretty much the same pin length, just farther off to the right. So there's kind of two different lines you can take. You can take the big anhyzer right here around this tree in front of the tee, or you can kind of take a big layup hyzer. I usually take the big layup hyzer and then go another big hyzer up into the green. But since we got people playing Jones West here, I don't want to go over their head and risk hitting them. So we're probably going to take the big anhyzer and we'll see what happens. So we do have a little bit of a headwind. I have a Biofusion Trespass that's really beat up. It's really unstable. It's 174 grams, and there is a little bit of a headwind, so this thing should flip pretty easily on me. I'm probably going to try and release it flat and just let the disc do the work and turn over. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hopefully I don't crash the truck. Didn't get enough height on that one, so we're going to step up to, I have a Lucid Sheriff, which is a little bit more stable than that. I'm going to step up to that one and try and give it some anhyzer and see if we can't get it closer. That one worked out a little bit better. It kind of panned towards the end, but it still didn't get quite as far as I was hoping, but it's all right. We're in a good position to get a 3. So this is more of the hyzer angle. That's kind of the window that you're looking at. You just want to get it over this tree right here. But a lot of people will go distance driver through this gap. But what I've found is there's actually a wide open second shot hyzer if you just kind of take like a slammer or a verdict or something that's a little bit shorter and still pretty overstable, and you just get it up and over that tree, then you can have a nice easy open shot for your second shot up into the green and hopefully make your putt. I do apologize if you guys can't hear me. We do have Highway 35 is maybe 75 feet behind the tee, so it is a little bit loud. I apologize. Just to show you guys the more traditional line for the hyzer gap, I'm just gonna throw my Defender, which got my face on it. Absolutely love this thing. I'll tell you the story about this while we're walking down the fairway, but it's pretty new. Aside from I just noticed there's a nice gash right there, so we're gonna see how it flies. Not too bad. Should have a pretty good look at that open hyzer window from there. If any of you are curious as to what bag I carry, it's a Ranger. It's got plenty of storage for all my discs. I carry pretty close to 20 discs, I think, and it's got all that up in the top pocket there. I've been carrying a winter hat, 5 discs, let's see, some camera stuff, usually a towel, and maybe a couple of whale sacks too. So tons and tons and tons of storage for discs and also non-discs as well. So I would definitely recommend looking into the Ranger if you're looking for a new bag. It works really well for me, so hopefully it'll work well for you too. All right, so here's the Trespass. Like I said, not a great shot. The Sheriff landed where my bag is, right up there. The basket, you can't really see it, but it's right behind this big tree in the middle. So I'm gonna play from the Sheriff just because I'm a cheater, but it's usually just a pretty open hyzer from there. As long as you can get it underneath these trees, you should, in theory, have a good putt. Obviously, by now, if you didn't know before, things in theory don't always happen when you're talking about me playing disc golf. So we still got to throw the shot. We still got to see if I can make the putts. So let's do it. All right, so here's what we're looking at. You can kind of see there's this tree right here hanging down is kind of in the way, so I don't want to throw something too high. And then you can just see the edge of the basket there, so I want to throw something through this gap that's hopefully going to get a little bit of finish to it. And my three main discs for that type of shot, I have a Fusion Slammer, or excuse me, Fusion Suspect. It's not quite as overstable as the Slammer. I can get it a little bit straighter, which I like. I have a Tournament Plastic Shield. I've never really liked the shield, but I was just at the store one day and I held this thing and it just felt really nice in my hand. And so I picked it up and it's been flying pretty well for me. So kind of debating on whether I'm keeping this in the bag or if it's just kind of a fad for right now. And then last up is the Moonshine Pure. A little bit straighter, a little bit less finished than those other two, but it goes a little bit farther. So if I need a low ceiling shot, maybe I'm gonna go up with this one. So we'll see. First up is gonna be the Suspect. It worked okay, came up just a little bit short, so I'm going to throw the Pure now. It's a little bit less stable, but I feel like I can get a little bit more distance on it if I throw it properly, so let's see what we can do. Threw that one way too high, came up into some trees, and landed a little bit shorter of the Slammer actually. It didn't have a terrible line to it, but, or excuse me, it came up short of the Suspect. I don't know why I keep doing that. But it came up a little bit shorter, words. Came up a little bit shorter, so we're probably gonna play from the Suspect. And the Shield I usually throw for more low power shots, so I don't think I'm gonna throw that one on this up. All right, so here's where the Suspect landed. Again, Prime Warden, Blend Warden. Tree's kind of off to the left, so if I give it a little bit of hyzer, I shouldn't have to worry about that. Not too much wind either, so it should be a pretty straightforward 15 to 20 footer. Just a little bit of an obstacle on the left. The tree's a little bit more in my way than I thought, so that's not a good sign. It's all right, we got this. No, we don't. Let's try a straddle. Now that's exactly why I said that this is kind of a par 3.5. It's just, I should get a 3 on this every time, but maybe half the time I don't. But I never really get worse than a 4. So it's kind of one of those tweener holes for me. Some people can get a 3 on it every time. With a great drive, you know, those huge arms could get a 2, but it's just not, you're not gonna do that reliably. So let's get another third person putt here. This is about my money range, so I'm confident on this one. You guys need to step up your 3-foot putts. Probably the best in the world, so. What's up, Rick, Paul? Not scared. So normally hole 4's tee pad is right there on top of the hill, and then you kind of just carry all the way over the water. And then there's a few different pin placements that this basket can be in. You can see where it is right now is kind of in the middle. There's also another pin right there down to the right. And then the normal one that you're probably going to see most often during GBO is actually going to be behind this kind of curved tree up there. You can just barely see the pole peeking out. That's kind of the long, the middle is where it is, and then the short is the one. I'm gonna play it from the short tee pad actually, because I've only played the short tee a couple of times, and I've never played the short tee to the position that it's in right now. So I want to give it a shot, and quite literally, no pun intended there. I want to give this one a shot and just kind of see how it plays and see how some of my discs react to this type of shot, because like I said, I've never played it before. With it in the short position, I've birdied it, or I should say I've eagled it, because I think this one's a par 4 from the long. From the short, it's a par 3. I'll show you guys that in just a second. But from the long, I eagled it once, and then I've birdied it a few times, but usually in the middle or the short position, it's usually pretty much a 3 for me every time, and then in the long, it's kind of sometimes a 3, sometimes a 4. When I eagled it, it was in the short, and I had a perfect drive. It was during one of our league rounds, and I got partnered up with Dixon Jowers, who is a Team DD member, so shout out to Dixon. He's pretty good at the disc golf, and he threw before me, obviously, because he was beating me, and you know, I saw him land maybe 20 feet, and I was just like, hey, that looks kind of doable, I might be able to do that. And he was like, go for it, why not? Because we had a pretty decent wind for it. It wasn't the strongest of a tailwind, but it was a tailwind. And he was like, dude, just go for it. You've got the arm, you could do it. And so I took out that Sheriff that I just threw on the last hole, hole 3, and kind of gave it some hyzer, flipped up, kind of drifted over, and I was maybe 25, 27 short, and then just cashed the putt, which almost never happens. As you guys have noticed watching these videos, that almost never happens. Well, usually getting off the tee isn't my problem. It's actually getting into the basket is where I tend to lose strokes. So let's see if we can avoid that on this hole. That's going to be our goal. We're going to have a good drive, and then we're going to make the putt and get our birdie. Because the basket, it's just right there. It's not that far. We can do that. What is that? 300 something feet? It's kind of in between those two. The pin is actually right here about. So we'll call it 350, par 3. Easy birdie, but just not the easy part. But hopefully a birdie. Let's do it! I'm really not sure how long this is. I'm not sure how long it plays, so I'm thinking either EMAC Truth or a Pure. With the wind kind of pushing left to right, I think I'm gonna go with a Pure. I'll show you that one. There you go. It's a medium Pure, very beat up, and it flies very understable. So I'll give it some hyzer, it'll flip, and it always rides to the right. This thing does not have fade anymore. It's awesome. I gave it a little more hyzer than I meant to, and so it didn't quite turn over as much as I wanted, but it looks like we should have maybe a 25, 20 footer from there. So like I said, we're gonna have a good drive and we're gonna bang that putt. So but just for fun, we're also gonna throw in evidence, just see how a mid-range would handle this kind of a shot, this distance. So let's do it. Fairly similar flight, even though I gave the Pure a lot more hyzer, but a fairly similar result. So we should have 2 decent looks from there. So if you guys have been following along, you remember how on the last hole, hole 3, remember how I threw a 3rd drive where I took the hyzer? Well, I forgot to go get it, so just had to go run back and get it. So there you go. If you were worried about me losing any discs, don't worry. I got it. I got it. So let me know. Excuse me. So let me know what you guys are. Jeez, what am I, 12? So let me know what you guys are thinking of this series. Do you like it, or is this just not your style, not your thing? These quick little play a hole and move on to the next one. Is that not your thing? You like a little bit more? Maybe if I did it all into one video, where I put the entire round as a video, and we just did this the same way, but it was, I don't know, 20 minutes instead of 21-minute sections. So let me know. I'm always curious what you guys want from me. I obviously like doing this just a little bit. So the better I can get at this, and the more I can make stuff that you guys enjoy and will watch, then win-win. As you can see, here is the evidence with the Lime Warrior die on it. That's maybe, I don't know, 20, 25 feet out, maybe. And then here's the Pure. Luckily I threw the Pure first, so I don't have to feel guilty playing from this one. And that's, I don't know, 12 feet, 15 feet. So we should be able to bang these, no problems. But, like, maybe some problems. Hopefully not. Shout out to the homie Ian. Bang, bang. Now the real question, can we go double birdie? Where you at, Paul?